Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium. CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world. CatholicUnderground.com, the podcast about our Catholic faith and new media.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Michael Voris. The Obamacare PR Blitz. The Obama administration is unveiling a new $125 million publicity campaign over the next 5 years to promote the pro-abortion health care law. Obama officials are relying on a pro-abortion former senator and a former official of a top pro-abortion group to make the case for the law. The move comes as polls continue to show a decided majority oppose the pro-abortion government-run healthcare system Obama and his congressional allies forced through. Former Senate Democratic leader Tom Daschle and Victoria Kennedy, wife of the late pro-abortion Senator Ted Kennedy, will head up the new public relations campaign. Both are Catholics in name only. Here come the Irish. The Vatican has begun a campaign against liberalism in the Church in Ireland. A 9-member team led by 2 cardinals has been instructed by the Vatican to restore a traditional sense of reverence among ordinary Catholics for their priests. Priests will be told, for their part, not to question in public official church teachings on controversial issues such as the papal ban on birth control or the admission of divorced Catholics living with new partners to the sacraments, especially Holy Communion. Theologians will be expected to teach traditional doctrine by constantly preaching to lay Catholics about attendance at Mass and to return to the practice of regular confession, which has been largely abandoned by adults since the 1960s. A major thrust of the Vatican investigation will be to counteract materialistic and secularist attitudes which Pope Benedict believes have led many Irish Catholics to ignore church disciplines and become lax in following devotional practices. Portugal goes gay. A lesbian couple wed Monday in Portugal's first same-sex ceremony since the predominantly Catholic country introduced a law allowing homosexual marriage last month. The 2 divorced mothers in their 30s married in a 15-minute ceremony in Lisbon. The couple pledged to, in their words, continue fighting for equal rights, including the right to adopt. The ceremony came less than a month after Portugal's president ratified a gay marriage law passed by Parliament in January. His approval made Portugal the 6th in Europe to let same-sex couples wed. Pope Benedict had made a public appeal while in Fatima that the president not sign the measure into law. The center-left socialist government said the law is part of its effort to, in its words, modernize Portugal, where homosexuality was a crime until 1982. 3 years ago, the same government lifted Portugal's ban on abortion despite church opposition. Stay with us, back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web. And RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
And DFWCatholic.org, spreading the truth one city at a time.
Bill Gates drops $1 billion. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation pledged $1.5 billion on Monday, that's billion with a B, in a joint push with the United Nations to what it calls improve the health of women and children, while launching a lobbying effort to get governments and other nonprofit groups on board. While some of the efforts might be praiseworthy, the issue is that much of those efforts will revolve around abortion and contraception on a global scale. The United Nations is all on board with the effort and plans to make a wider pitch for more international money at the Global Conference of 20 Industrialized Nations in Toronto this summer. The final financial goal, $45 billion. And lastly, Poland is under attack. Officials of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva have launched a full-scale attack on Poland's pro-life laws. Poland protects the right to conscience objection for healthcare workers and the rights of the Catholic Church. A report submitted to the UN Council includes what European pro-life groups calls, quote, a radical and comprehensive attack on Poland's pro-life position on access to abortion, conscientious objection, contraception, and sex education, end quote. Poland, Malta, and the Republic of Ireland are the last countries in the European Union to retain specific and effective protections for unborn children. These countries have been placed in the direct line of fire for abortion activists within the UN and the European Union. All three have Catholic majorities. I'm Michael Voris. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure and check out The Vortex today, where we talk about the toll on souls that bishops keeping quiet is taking. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tell your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.